Okay, folks, it's time to start the meeting. Meeting is open for the Town of Bel Air Planning Commission. We got some administrative items we like to take care of first. Real quick, if you have a copy of the agenda, we're going to move the agenda around so we don't hold you folks up out there. We're going to do only item A under administrative duties. Then we're going to go into new business right away. So we'll get the presentation going fairly quickly and everybody can come up and speak and not have to sit through all the administrative stuff we have to do today. So with that being said, the first business is review of and approval of the minutes from the June 4th, 2026 meeting. Do we have any discussion, comments?
I have no comments.
I only had two. On the bottom of page 4, the last paragraph, it says, Mr. Stram asked why they would use artificial turf in the plaza area. Mr. Robinson responded, but it don't say what that response is. Does anyone remember what that response was? I thought he said grass after we talked about it.
I think he said that if people were walking across it, not following the pathway, that the artificial turf would hold up.
Yeah,
It's because of the wear and tear.
the wear and tear. Yeah, but I thought we were pushing for the more green there. Because that's a big area. It looked like they were going to put that in. But,
You know, I think we'll have
that's one of those things we get to discuss when they come back. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be
So
revisiting
I'll leave
that.
that be. And then on the last page, it's kind of funny. Instead of Mr. Hines, on the last paragraph, it says Mr. Hyde. I do turn into Hyde sometimes, so I shouldn't really argue that one, I guess, but it should be Hines. That's all I had. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the minutes of June 24th, 2026 as amended.
Have a second?
Second?
Passed. I'm sorry. Roll call. Jeffrey?
Aye.
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 Aye. Got 4 ayes. Okay, so we're going to move right into new business. New business is item A, review. Oh, before we get started, let me go through the other stuff to let everybody know. I'm sorry, I apologize. Make sure your cell phones are on off, your ringers are off. This is being recorded. This is on YouTube. There's probably 100,000 people watching this. So we don't want to say anything that would be recorded and shouldn't be recorded in conversations. So if you could please mute that. If you need to use the bathrooms, they're down the hall to my right and to your left, right around that little brick wall. Feel free. And we'll keep on moving here. The first item is review a special development site plan and landscape plan for a Dunkin' Donuts, Jimmy John's, to be located at 204 and 208 Hay Street, submitted by Bel Air Downtown QSR Limited License. With that, I'm going to ask Mr. Wakar, I finally got his name right after many weeks, to go ahead and make the
A grand
presentation.
thank you for that. Also, before we begin, I would just like to remind everyone to speak into the microphone. All right. Good evening, Planning Commission members. I'll be presenting the site plan and landscape plan, as well as the special development approval for Dunkin' Donuts Jimmy John's, located at 208 South Hay Street. The project involves constructing a new one-story, 3,792 square foot restaurant with outdoor seating and drive-through at 208 South Hay Street, otherwise known as unsigned MD 922. The new building will result in a maximum height of 23 feet 6 inches and is set outside of all required setbacks. Additionally, the proposed development includes associated site improvements such as additional parking striping on an adjacent parcel not 1258, on-site parking spaces, an outdoor dining area, drive-through, and landscape areas as part of the overall approval for the project. The development site is located in the B3A General Business Gateway Zoning District, 150 feet northwest of the Baltimore Pike and South Hayes Street intersection. The general area is characterized by a mix of 1 to 2 story residences and primarily comprised of 1 to 3 story commercial and government facility buildings. And the subject property currently has only one existing operational 1,260 square foot building known as Green Drop, located at 204 Baltimore Pike on parcel 1246, lot 1. I will also need to break down the development site's 5 parcels. So the first one is parcel 1244. It is owned by 208 South Hayes Street LLC. The second is parcel 1246 lot 1. The third is parcel 1246 lot 2, and the fourth parcel is 1245, all owned by 204 Baltimore Pike LLC. And then lastly, the fifth parcel is parcel 1258, owned by Santiago Management LLC. So with respect to the site plan review, the proposed principal building is positioned towards the northeastern front portion of the site, maintaining all required setbacks from South Hayes Street and associated lot lines as mentioned earlier. Most of the vehicle queuing of 8 vehicles for the drive-through is proposed behind and the rear sides of the principal building towards the southeast portion of the site, effectively screened from public view, and is shown to minimize visual and traffic impacts along the South Hayes Street corridor. The site plan shows that inadequate on-site circulation and parking on both the east and western portions of the subject site are provided. In this current proposal, only 14 parking spaces are provided for customers and employees. With respect to the site, I will be breaking down the parking calculations for outdoor dining. So per Town of Bel Air Code section 16551H, the requirement would be 1 parking space per 150 square feet or 1 parking space per 3 seats, whichever is greater. In this case, the outdoor dining area encompasses 867 square feet, requiring 6 parking spaces, or that as 20 outdoor seats are proposed, 7 parking spaces are required. Additionally, per Town of Bel Air Code section 16551H, the restaurant use parking requirement is 1 per 3 patron seats or 1 parking space per 100 square feet of net floor area, excluding food preparation and storage, whichever is greater. This proposed restaurant use encompasses 12 indoor seats requiring 4 parking spaces, as well as encompasses 1,199 square feet within the common dining area, and as such would require 12 parking spaces. As 7 spaces are required for the outdoor dining use, and as 12 parking spaces are required for the restaurant use, the applicant is to provide 5 additional parking spaces for a total of 19 spaces. At this time, after review of the site plan, it is recommended that the applicant address the following additional items. Number 1, after review of the site plan, an existing note states SHA right-of-way dedication, parentheses 245.3 square feet, 0.06 acres, plus or minus width varies. Please ensure that the SHA right-of-way dedication is properly documented and included with the building permit submittal. Number 2, the existing roof overhang of the Green Drop on parcel 1246 lot 1 encroaches onto adjacent parcel 1246 lot 2 across the shared property line. To resolve the encroachment, a perpetual cross easement for parcel 1246 lot 1 and parcel 1246 lot 2 will be required and must be formally documented through the recording of a deed reflecting the revised property boundaries. Number 3, very simple one, a label for middle alley should be provided on the site plan. Number 4, it's recommended that the stop bar and crosswalk at the intersection of George Street and unassigned MD 922 or South Hayes Street be adjusted to improve traffic flow and intersection operations. Number 5, Please include a note on the site data list that unloading and loading and servicing of refuse and recycling cannot be done between the hours of 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. when located within 500 feet of a residential district, unless waived by the Planning Commission based on mitigating factors. Number 6, revise site data item number 8 to read outdoor dining instead of drive-through restaurant, and note that the office uses do not have a parking requirement. Number 7, a note should be added to the plans indicating that a swinging gate with a lock is proposed between parcel 1257 and parcel 1258, and that the Town of Bel Air Police Department and the Bel Air Volunteer Fire Company should be provided with a key access to the gate. Number 8, considering that parcel 1246 lot 1 and parcel 1260 are not part of the development site, a shared access agreement should still be established between the 7-Eleven and Green Drop site. This is necessary to accommodate vehicular circulations between the Dunkin' Donuts and Jimmy John's area and the former right-of-way for Middle Alley. At this time, our applicant has provided us a proposed easement, and the Town of Bel Air Planning Department is still reviewing this. Number 9, pursuant to Town of Bel Air Code 165-53I-2I-1D, the proposed 20 outdoor dining seats exceed the maximum permitted outdoor seating, which is limited to 75% of the 12 indoor seats required. The applicant should reduce the seating capacity from 20 seats to 9 seats to comply with this code requirement. If this reduction is made, the applicant is only to provide 6 parking spaces for the outdoor dining use based upon the area calculation of the outdoor dining area. I know that was a lot. Now, landscape review. So, after review of the landscape plan, it's recommended that the applicant address the following. So for comment number 1, I reviewed our landscape consultant's comments, and his comment specific to the street tree requirement reads a bit more clear than what I was originally proposing. So I'm going to read that recommendation. So the project development has 290 feet of frontage along South Hay Street, resulting in 7 major deciduous trees required. As there is no noted overhead utilities, minor deciduous trees are not recommended. There are 3 minor and 3 major deciduous trees proposed. There is also a large gap along the frontage which does not meet the code's intent in providing a consistent landscape edge along the road. Additionally, parcel 1246 lot 1 is not part of the proposed development. However, should this change, additional street trees and buffering will be necessary. Landscape plan review comment number 2, a landscape buffer of 10 feet is required along the abutting residential properties to the southwest of the site. The applicant is also proposing to comply with Resolution 1119-18 by installing a 6-foot-tall board-on-board vinyl fence as shown on the plans. The applicant is requesting to provide a reduced 8-foot landscape buffer in place of the 10-foot buffer required per Town of Bel Air Code Section 16559A2. Per Town of Bel Air Code Section 16559A3, the Planning Commission may approve a lesser buffer width or screening requirement based upon mitigating factors, such as walls, fencing, elevation change, or existing vegetation. Number 3, if the Planning Commission denies the applicant request for relief from the Town of Bel Air Code Section 16559A2 as referenced in the Site Plan Note 13A, the site plan should be revised to increase the buffer width from 8 feet to 10 feet to comply with the code section. This was formerly mentioned in the site plan recommendations but moved to landscape recommendations. Number 4, per Town of Bel Air Code Section 16559A2, a 3-foot buffer is also required for non-residential parking adjacent to a right-of-way, Baltimore Pike, US Route 1. So the recommendation is to revise parcel 1246 lot 1 to show adherence to Town of Bel Air Code Section 16559A2. But in my review as of last week, It is determined that however, as parcel 1246, lot 1 is not part of this proposed development, this recommendation is to be removed. And then number 5, I'm adding this, but for number 5, to clarify and delineate whether the 6-foot vinyl board-on-board fence will be installed backside of parcel 1244 at 208 South Hay Street per Resolution 1119-18. So additional landscape comments are provided by the Town of Bel Air's landscape reviewer or landscape consultant and are attached as part of this application review. Now we're going to be addressing the lighting plan review. A photometric plan has been submitted indicating illumination levels ranging from 0.0 and 7.8 foot candles of illumination across the property. Staff has no additional comments. With respect to the architecture, elevations were submitted to the Town of Bel Air's architectural consultant for review, and their comments are attached in your package. While the elevations meet the district standards, Town of Bel Air Code 165-33.6.C3 requires that the proposed building occupies 60% of the street frontage. Currently, the applicant's proposed building facade is 100 feet wide, which only accounts for 50% of the 200-foot street frontage. The applicant will resolve this by proposing 2 decorative landscape walls, each 3.5 feet high and 15 feet long, on either side of the site's entrance and exit. These additions increase the total street frontage coverage to approximately 65%, meeting the town's code requirement. With respect to the subdivision plan, the applicant will complete an administrative subdivision to consolidate the 2 parcels following Planning Commission approval. As part of the project, approximately 245 square feet of land will be dedicated to the State Highway Administration for future roadway improvements at Baltimore Pike and South Hay Street, resulting in the final lot size of approximately 42,022 square feet or 0.965 acres. The final subdivision plat, including the parcel consolidation and SHA dedication, will have to be recorded in the Harford County Land Records. So now, respect to the special development for drive-through, the performance standards requirements relative to drive-throughs are as follows. Number 1, pedestrian and vehicular circulation is coordinated throughout the site. Number 2, drive-through lanes are clearly marked and do not block service or emergency access. Number 3, adequate spaces for the queuing of vehicles are provided. Number 4, noise from ordering speakers will be limited based upon State of Maryland standards for control of noise pollution. Number 5, drive-through lanes are located to the rear and side of the building. With respect to special development outdoor dining service, the performance standards relative to this use are as follows. No amplified music or public address systems will be in operation between the hours of 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. No recreational games or live entertainment will be permitted between the hours of 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. Requirements of Chapter 345 Peace and Good Order of the Town of Bel Air Code will be adhered to during the operation of the use. Number 4, the current outdoor seating area of 864 square feet is above the required 75% fire rated capacity for the principal permitted use of 1,199 square feet, and there are no temporary enclosures proposed. And number 5, the use is not within a shopping center and will not serve alcoholic beverages. So to conclude, at a minimum, the approval of the site plan and landscape plan and special developments should be conditioned on the recommendations outlined in your application package. This concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
Oh, there'll be a few.
Didn't you just read motions?
No, not word for word, no.
I was gonna say, I have a
Okay,
hard-
before we get to any
I have a hard time
motions or
following
anything,
executive
we got
orders.
discussion. Liz?
I got 2 procedural things that I want to make of record in light of Wakar's presentation. Photometric plans You were provided that in your package. That is for your information purposes only, despite what the staff report seems to allude. The code specifically empowers the Director of Planning to approve photometric plans, not the Planning Commission. So that's for your information. Just ignore it. If you want to ask questions, you can, but there's no motion to do. Let me see. What was one more other administrative thing before you get started? I can't find it. I'm sure I'll find it. Go ahead. That's all I wanted to say, because I would take that right off the table. Thanks.
Okay, if that's in the motion, we'll scratch it. Okay. Okay, with that being said, we open it up to the staff here to make comments, questions.
Was the
Uh,
applicant gonna
No,
present?
no, I'm sorry. We better let the applicant go first. We're gonna let the applicant do his presentation, then we'll discuss items. And as repeated by Wakar before, everybody, when you come up front, that microphone there, you're gonna give your name, and your address, and what affiliation you have with this project, whether you're a public speaker or engineer, or what have you. And then, that recording goes to that young lady over there, so she needs to make sure it goes into the microphone. Thank you. With that being said, sir, it's all yours.
Thank you. My name is David Taylor. I'm the civil engineer and planner on this project. I'm here representing Karen Patel with Bel Air Development QSR LLC. Is that correct? I always get that a little mixed up. I don't want to restate everything that Wakar just said as far as the project, but it is about 0.965 acres in size. It's a conglomeration of several parcels, which we have an exhibit here. It's parcel 1244, 1246 lot 2, 1245 is on the corner, and 1258. 1246 lot 1 is the green drop establishment, and that is not part of the project. So we've gone through quite a bit of reviews with our traffic study and the plans, and I think we've made a lot of good, been a lot of good back and forth to arrive at the plan that we have today. Appreciate Wakar's help with going through all the various codes, issues, or state portions of the code that we have to abide by. We feel that the project meets, for the most part, meets the intent of the Town of Bel Air zoning code with respect to access and egress. This project is designed to be accessed off of South Hayes Street. Guess we have the plan up here. And to circulate around and through the drive-through. We have like 18 or 19 actually stacking spaces with a double border lane merging into one. The exit will be either onto South Hayes, or we provided the option to circulate back parallel with South Hayes and then down and out to Archer Street. Our delivery trucks will deliver the product during non-peak business hours, and it will not exit onto Hayes Street. It will come in, and we have a loading zone set aside for it and a sidewalk, again, during non-peak hours, and then it will back up and then exit out Archer Street. The truck will be a medium-sized truck, a WB45. We've talked to State Highway, obviously, about this project, and by the way, they've presented a letter of approval. But the truck that we're using is called a WB45 truck, and it makes all the maneuvering within. It stays in its lanes coming off of South Hayes. It comes in and parks, and it can back up and leave at Archer. So we've got that nailed down pretty good, but it will not exit South Hayes. State Highway and the Town of Bel Air had asked us to provide some improvements, road improvements. One of them being extending the island at the intersection with Baltimore Pike and South Hayes, we have the Arby's across the street. So the idea of extending the island is to prohibit people from being able to drive across, from leaving Dunkin' Donuts and trying to drive over to Arby's and crossing traffic. So the extension of the island blocks that maneuver, so they can only come out and make a right and then turn on the Baltimore Pike and merge. We were also proposing, which is off the screen, hopefully you can hear me, these improvements here at George Street and South Hayes. And the idea here is, I guess there's a perceived flaw in this current intersection that the town would like to see corrected. So we're proposing a 90-degree intersection with only a right turn, and no turning in allowed. So it's a right turn only out. State Highway has reviewed that. The town of Bel Air has reviewed that. Again, actually, our traffic study was reviewed by State Highway, town of Bel Air, and Harford County. So we have three entities reviewing the traffic study for this project. And so we've, that's why I say I feel pretty good about the way this is designed. We've also been required to do a little improvement here with a stop bar at Archer Street and Baltimore Pike. Just to give people heads up, hey, stop here, and don't just pull out. We've got stormwater facility in the lower corner. I think it's important to note that the improvements here on parcel 1258, right here, are for two purposes. The owner of Avita is currently using that parking as a parking lot. It is currently a gravel parking lot. Also, we have common ownership here, so Dunkin' Donuts has agreed, Kieran, to improve their parking lot, which is now a gravel parking lot, and to pave it and formalize the parking. So Avita now will use this, and only Avita, this parking lot for its use, as it is doing now, but it's now going to be paved and form of the spring. Dunkin' Donuts will also bring in traffic from Archer in and out, but only the trucks that come in can only exit out from Market Street. With that, I acknowledge we've got some discussions about parking with respect to our outdoor seating. If we find that we cannot get any more parking spaces, then what we would propose to do is just reduce the number of outside seats. It's primarily a drive-through restaurant. We were trying to provide an amenity for outside seating for people that get their food and go outside, leave some tables outside. But the property is only as big as it is, and you can only do so much. So if parking is an issue because of the outside seating, then we would agree to just eliminate some of those seats so that we can have the parking. Let me jump to the landscape plan. This is kind of a unique property in that in the town of Bel Air code, front yard setback is kind of unique as well, in that typically a front yard setback is the closest to the building to a roadway. But in Bel Air, it's actually the farthest away you can build a building. So we have to be at least up to and preferably closer to the road than that 25-foot setback. So that's why the building is set where it is. It has to be at or inside of that line. With Dunkin' Donuts, the way their operation, if you look at any of their Dunkin' Donuts, they have circulation around the establishment for people to leave and exit in various different ways. So we do have this lane to make a left turn and then exit out to Archer. That only leaves us, because we have 25 feet, that only leaves us a 3-foot strip of green, which is between the road right-of-way and that lane. Again, we have to make that turn there's also an underground Verizon line under that 3-foot strip, so we cannot plant trees. It's not big enough, it's not wide enough, and we have underground utilities, which preclude us from planting large trees here. So what we had counted on was that anything within the front yard would be counted towards our street tree planting, that the town of Bel Air is going to have, based on frontage. So basically, a large deciduous tree or street tree would have to plant it every 40 feet, I believe.
Large is
40, 40
large is every 40, minor deciduous would be 30.
every 30. So because we have underground utilities, which we can't plant on top of, and because we only have a 3-foot green strip, which we can only plant minor plant shrubs and maybe some minor flowering trees here at best, we were counting all the landscaping in the front yard setback of 25 feet. There is no right-of-way within which to plant any trees. So I don't know, I've looked for the definition of street trees in the code. It's not really clear, but in my opinion, I took it as between the front yard, within the front yard setback. So all this landscaping is in the front yard setback, and that's how we arrived at the numbers that we did as far as meeting the planting requirements. I don't know what else, as far as planting, again, we cannot plant large trees here because of utilities, because of this land room. So I just wanted to make that mention. We did we do intend to completely meet the buffering requirement here along the residential property line. We're proposing a 6-foot-high privacy fence, and we're proposing a very densely vegetated row of, I believe they're evergreens. We obviously can't plant across the alley. So in order to get a standard parking lot with an 18-foot deep parking space and a 24-foot wide drive aisle, which is standard, that leaves us 8 feet because this is 50 feet wide. It's for that reason we were asking for that 2-foot relief on the buffer. So we intend to fully meet all buffering, planting requirements, as well as privacy fence. But in order to get that 24-foot drive aisle, that ends up being 8 feet. And that's why we have that request for 2-foot relief. Again, this parking lot is currently being used for parking towards Via Vita, and this is an improvement to the current use, as far as putting all this buffering and fencing. This fencing also wraps around and on this property line as well.
Where does the water and sewer come in, from Archer Street? I
So
see there's a water valve on the bottom of Archer. I was wondering if that's where you're tapping that.
there is a water valve here, but we also have water on Hayes, and there's also a sewer line running down South Hayes. Now, the problem with the water is, I need to do some more research, because Maryland American has not been able to provide me with any kind of real records. I think all they could give me was something dated 1883 or something. So I'm a little, I know there's water here. There's also water down here. I know there's a sewer line because we have manholes. So the sewer's not, we know where the sewer is. But I'm still trying to figure out exactly where the water is. But they tell me there's water along South Hayes. So that's something that Maryland American that I have to resolve. We did provide colored exhibits for the building. This is the frontage on South Hayes. This is looking at it from Baltimore Pike, I believe, on the side. Plan got shifted. So looking at it from Baltimore Pike, and then these views are from the back. And we've got our
Panel, do we have any items you want to talk about, bring up? And we're going to get to the public. The public will have their chance to come up after we get some questions going. Yes, sir. Sure. You're part of the presentation.
Sure. My name is Kiran Patel, and I'm the franchisee for the proposed Dunkin' and Jimmy John's location. I'm accompanied by my wife Rashmi here, and I wanted to thank the commission members to take time in Town of Bel Air for numerous back and forth, providing comments, and can't thank enough Kevin Small, who is retired now but has spent a good amount of time with us along with the property owner, with my engineer. Just to say a few words about as a franchisee, because I'm not an engineer or an architect to say more things about it. I have my friend David Taylor, who represents me well. We have been around in the county since 2003 onwards, and I can say as a franchisee, we have a solid relationship with numerous organizations around the county and Town of Bel Air. We are proud, my personal network, I have a restaurant which is a proud winner from last 3 years for collecting highest number of donations across 10,000 Dunkins in the nation for Joy in Childhood Foundations. So we collected, like last year, $21,000 at our restaurants locally, which goes to Maryland kids in need. Apart from that, we support March of Dimes, Don Hill Autism Foundation, Bel Air Police Department. We are proud partners with Hartford County Sheriff Department for community involvement, Bel Air Fire Department, and we do numerous community involvement. So it will be my pleasure to serve the community in the heart of Bel Air, which have been like in the foresight of our mind from many, many years, but we could not find a site, and this was one of the most difficult site to work with. And we've been working out for this site from past 2 years almost, and we still have about a year and a half, 2 years ahead before we can kind of start serving the community. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you all, and that's one from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments from the staff? Questions?
I have some, but Pete, you want to go first?
Go ahead.
I understand, you know, with with regard to the property, you're combining 1244 and 1246. Some of the work extends onto parcel 1245. Some of the landscape planting, and then so can you count landscaping, planting that's done on a piece of property that is not part of the development envelope? And I guess, Waqar, maybe that's a question for you guys as well.
So for the landscaping that's adjacent, that is between parcel 1258 and 1257, that is the landscape requirement for generally for parking, commercial parking that's adjacent to residential. So a 3 feet buffer is generally required.
Right, but
What
on
he's talking about is 1246, 45.
1245,
Landscape is set out on the landscape plan on the corner, and that's not really part of the development, right? That's what you're
Right.
saying? Yeah.
I mean, if you say no, because it's all jointly owned by these folks, they can count it, but it's technically, the way I read it, it's not part of the development envelope for the project.
Yeah, correct, and that's where the landscape is.
Is that parcel owned by your group? The one on the corner that he's talking about?
I know you're gonna dedicate some of, you're gonna dedicate a strip to SHA. Uh, But I was just, and I understand, you know, if they tell you to do it, you're gonna do it, but.
So we have a tentative dedication after discussions with State Highway and the town, shown on the plan. But we are proposing street trees on this parcel because it is part of this project. We initially thought we might need it for a stormwater facility, but after going through the design, we were able to eliminate it, but it's still part of this project, so we are landscaping it. It's the green drop that is not part of this project.
Okay. I guess the reason I asked the question was, you know, if it stays as separate parcel, which I guess on paper, it could be sold, you know, but part of your landscaping is on that separate piece of property.
What we could do is, we could do a development agreement with all of the owners specific to the landscape. Basically, I mean, two things. Number one, since he's put that parcel in, 1246, is subject to every requirement that you guys set out. So even if they change the use or try to do something else with it, it would have to come back to you guys. That was one question I had for him in putting the green drop in, is do you guys want to really put the green drop in? Because if you put the green drop in and if they change anything, they got to come back to you because it's part of the project. Now, what we can do is we can do the development agreement that binds everyone to keep those trees on site as part of your approval, if you want.
Well, I don't want to make it any more complicated than it needs to be. I was
Hey,
just
it's
wondering-
already complicated. It really is. So, but if that's what you guys want, that's not a problem.
You know, if it can legitimately be counted as part of the
Yeah,
landscaping,
it can.
then fine.
It's up to the owner as to whether or not, because, you know, they're all in agreement, because I think that piece is owned by the same entity. The two other pieces are, is that correct?
I'm confused what parcel you're talking about.
The very corner,
This corner,
yeah, where the landscape is going in.
yeah, this is not part of the green drop.
Correct.
It's its own
Separate parcel.
entity with a tax ID.
Is it a separate entity?
There is some common ownership for some of these parcels. That's
It
a
says it's,
204.
it says it's 204 Baltimore Pike LLC.
Okay, and they own two other lots. That's in the project, right? Exactly. So it's
I was
become,
wondering why they didn't combine this lot with the other two, but, you know,
Yeah.
that's,
The reason we didn't, the reason I wasn't proposing to combine this with, these two are being consolidated administratively. But I thought it best not to include that in the consolidation in case the green drop building or something new comes here down the road. And they would have to buy it, or it would have to be transferred, it become part of another project. If that happens, but right now, he's leasing this lot. This is part of his lease. So this corner lot is leased, will be leased by the Duncan Brothers entity. It's not part of Green Drop, and that's why it's part, we have landscaping.
so it's leased.
it's leased.
Who will be maintaining everything? The right-of-way going next to Avita, I know you're gonna upgrade their parking lot for them, but I take it your facilities are gonna maintain that.
Dunkin' Donuts franchise, well, it depends on whatever you worked out. So I do that.
That would have to be part of the agreement.
We will look into the lease, but all the landscape improvements, the landscaping that we plan and the parking lot, it will be on us to maintain it.
Now, on the Green Drop property, it looks like you're also constructing a new retaining wall, which is to support the work of the new development.
It's just a grade issue.
Yeah, there's a little retaining wall out there right now. It looks like you're just moving it over, but it's a new one.
A little bit higher.
Okay.
It's just a grade adjustment.
No, it's on Green Drop property. It's,
It's on the
they
property
actually
line.
moved it further on to Green Drop
We
property.
had to get permission to be able to do that.
Okay. Does that require some kind of protective easement so that,
Absolutely. Because, so, He's already said that Green Drop is not a part of this project. So if he's putting part of his improvements on Green Drop, then you have another easement encroachment issue. Does that make sense? As part, because you have a line there and you're going over the line for this project. So it's going to be part of
This
at
project.
least a development agreement to say you are putting this in, it's a part of your approval, and that you guys agree to maintain it. So if you guys put it on there and then Green Drop just wants to rip it back out, you're gonna have to come back and get their approval on what to do. So,
Yeah, there would have to be a crossing,
yeah.
just like the little overhang.
God, my work is continuing.
So they're legally okay to put
They,
material there?
yes, they can with the appropriate legal documentation recorded in the land records. So right now, and I have some other stuff for you guys when you all are done your comments, I've got a development agreement for the landscape that's on the corner lot, and then I've got an easement, at least an easement, I might even include it on the development agreement, I'm not sure, but an easement for that retaining wall on Green Drops.
And then it looks like out of your microbiome facility number 1, you've got your storm drain kind of comes out. It looks like, and maybe it's just a representation that it's right on the line, you know, at least outside of the ingress egress easement. And I don't know whether that's something that, you know, whether it's like, okay, you adjust it so that it doesn't.
So we have an existing recorded cross easements from here over for all these lots. Already recorded.
Right, and I see that it almost looks like the, you know, with the way the pipe is positioned, it almost looks like it's just out, you know, right on the edge. And
Well, it's intended to kind of go right down the property line, the common property line,
okay,
and then tie into the state highway system out here. So that is our outfall. Currently, all this water just kind of drains freely.
gotcha.
So we are capturing it here, treating it, and then we're running it right down the property line within that crossing agreement.
Right. Yeah.
Tying into the state.
And I saw you've got like an 18-inch that drops into a 15-inch out on Baltimore Pike. Is that just a slope and capacity issue, or?
The actual size of the pipe will be determined when we get into the actual final engineering and hydraulic design of the stormwater facility. But the one thing State Highway doesn't require, anytime you tie into their system, it has to be a minimum of an 18-inch pipe. Now, if their pipe is only 15 inches, then that's a discussion I'll have with them, to tie an 18 into a 15. Does that make a lot of sense? But that's just one of their,
Okay, yeah, I was just looking at what you had on the plan, because it was, you know, it was just labeled as a 15, so.
yeah, our survey picked up a 15. But ultimately, that'll be State Highway review as to how that actually works.
Okay. I saw the changes that were made at the intersection of George Street and South Hayes. Is that area gonna be re-landscaped? Because I know the one, it doesn't show up on the landscape plan, but that little triangle area, you know, right now is all planted. Portion of that is gonna be cut off when you create a new intersection, and then you're gonna end up with an area that is paved now that won't be paved. Is that, I'm just wondering what's gonna happen there. Is it gonna be grass? Is it gonna be planted?
I try not to get into too much detail with these off-site road improvements, just enough for State Highway to agree. But once we get into actual submittals to State Highway, I mean, obviously, what is paved here, for example, will become grass. Maybe there'll be some landscaping in there, but that'll be part of our final engineering submittals to State Highway.
Okay. And then planning gets to see that again, or that's just something you take care of with State Highway?
Well, I think we probably have a town road combining with a state road, so I think towns will look at it as well as State Highway.
Okay, okay. the landscape walls, what are they gonna look like? Is that just masonry to look like the building?
My thought is, yeah, we try to mimic the architecture in the brick or material, so all consistent.
Okay. Yeah, because you're gonna plant big trees all around them, you know, I guess if you gotta do it to meet a requirement, I don't know that you're gonna see much of that.
It's a requirement, it's a code, so you have to be 60%. I think we did that at 50 with the okay of the planning commission,
Correct.
but we were trying to be proactive, just get it over 60, and it would look attractive anyway. So we proposed the 2 extra spots.
Okay, okay. For the turning movement coming out of the access from Avita, is there parking along Archer Street? Because I saw your movement, and it's like you're gonna come right out close to the curb.
No formalized parking. That's not to say people won't park, they're legal, but I don't.
I'm just wondering whether the curb should be painted yellow so that it's like, okay, you know, yeah, or no parking, you know, for,
And I hope they're all making right turns when they get on Archer Street, because that's gonna be a nightmare. A lot of cars come out of there.
well, I
It's
was
a
looking at the
bad
delivery
spot.
truck. That,
The delivery truck would go this way. But, you know, I think we got plenty of room. I mean, you look at a lot of these large delivery trucks all throughout Bel Air, they somehow get in.
yeah,
And we've actually downsized the delivery truck. So that it, when it makes its turn, it stays in its lane and pulls right in. And it doesn't have any issue with maneuvering. So compared to a lot of these other trucks that I see, I think this is a very nicely sized delivery truck.
okay. For the parking, since you've got, what, 14 spaces, 12 are required, you've got, what, just a couple of extra? So, and you get, what, you get three outdoor seats for every,
So it's 1 space for 3 seats. So currently
There's 14 spaces on the plan.
There's currently 14 spaces on the plan.
needs 12,
He meets 12 for the restaurant use.
okay, so he's got
Um,
2 extra?
He will need to actually provide 5 extra.
Right, but unless he redesigns the whole site, he's not going to be able to. So right now, he's got 2 extra?
He does not have any extra. He actually has to provide. He has to provide a total of 19. Right now, he has 14.
Well, and I guess that's what I was getting at, is that you can't provide the outdoor seating the way it's shown. You know, you could only have outdoor seating for maybe 6 people, so is that, is,
I think his option is to reduce the number of seating for the outdoor or the area for the outdoor in order to meet the parking.
so what are you guys thinking right now? Are you gonna leave the patio the way it is and just say, well, okay, we're only gonna show 1 table out there, or no, we're gonna change the size of the patio?
That's something we have to talk about, but if we can only have so many seats, then maybe why have such a large patio? So,
I think you're,
but if there's, yeah, sure.
So outdoor is not a requirement for bunkering unions, we just added that because of a lot of offices around there, people to walking. But that's not a constraint, so we can reduce to 5 or 6 to meet the parking requirements, and we can just have the patio as it is.
Yeah, because I do not see any more space for parking unless you made a deal with your neighbors.
It is as efficient as we can possibly make it. There is one possible location, which would be right here, but State Highway likes a certain distance between the first parking space and the main road, and we were trying to honor their intent.
Too close.
But that is the only place that we can fit another space.
yeah, that's why in the beginning I was asking whether you were thinking about combining 1245, which is gonna be just lawn, and say, okay, I'm gonna try, you know, I'd really like to have outdoor seating, so I'm gonna try to shoehorn a few more parking spaces in there so that I can keep a larger patio.
It's just not large enough
Okay. Gotcha.
For your question about parking on Archer Street, according to my little IA Google search, permit zones east and west sides of Archer Street from its intersection with Thomas Street to a point 760 feet south are parking by permit only. Baltimore Pike intersection, parking is prohibited at all times on the west side of Archer Street from its intersection with Baltimore Pike for a distance of 75 feet. So,
The only reason I asked was when I saw the traffic movement, it looked like they were coming really close to the curve. So if you know,
yeah.
anybody's parked there, it's like, okay, we're kind of stuck.
yeah, 75 feet will help the trucks get out, but,
Yeah, but if it was, you know, if the curb was painted yellow and it's like, or
Yeah.
sign, and it's like no parking, then okay, if somebody's doing something illegal, then.
I mean, in that regard, that would, because the parking, these types of areas are regulated by the Board of Town Commissioners, so the board would have to decide to change that in light of the circumstances. I don't think that the planning commission could say, you gotta stop parking here. It would have to come from the board, because they've set these rules up.
Again, these trucks, you know, you do a truck turning radius, it's a computer program, but the actual way they can maneuver these trucks is not
Yeah,
what the computer
I've seen truck
program
drivers
shows.
do what the model says they can't,
Yeah.
so I understand.
It's a perfect geometric model that assumes that there's no other little adjustments that he makes along the way. So again, we downsized the delivery truck from what it, you know, there was a larger truck that they like to use, and this is their smaller truck, and I think it works pretty good
Okay.
as far as getting in and out, compared to what I've seen around town.
A comment, like, our food provider has indicated if the state have it down the line, gives us a letter, they can reduce it to a box truck, a special provision for the box truck use. So that will, you know, kind of satisfy everything for the turning trajectories if needed, as state have it down the line for the engineering plans.
Yeah, there was the option of a box truck, but
Okay.
obviously I want to design it for something larger, and that's what we've done, but they can use a box truck for deliveries.
My final question was about the new lighting that you're going to put in along the new 6-foot privacy fence, you know, adjacent to the residential properties. I think the only lighting for the Avita lot right now are maybe wall packs on the side of the building I'm just wondering whether that's going to be, you know, how much light there's going to be there. Is it going to be something that's an adverse impact to the property owners? You know, you're going to put a 6-foot-high fence, but if there are 20-foot-high poles, even if they're downcast lights, I did not have a chance to look at your photometrics.
Yeah, they're 18-foot poles, they're directional, and the photometric plan actually shows what the foot candles are, just how it's dispersed. Ricard, you have that on here, don't you? The lighting plan.
Here it is, right here.
I can,
You got it?
Yeah, I don't know how to read it, other than, you know,
I've never seen
Yeah,
that.
they're 18 feet high.
yeah, I mean, I see
so
the
they
numbers
were
are.
actually larger. I think.
Originally, they were 23 feet
What's that
tall,
now?
adjacent to the residential, but now we had
Which is-
requested the applicant to reduce it to 18.
They would be here.
Okay, yeah, I see like, you know, 0.2, 0.1, you know, so if the light intensity that might end up over into the adjacent residential property is really de minimis, then, okay, I got no concern.
Yeah, it states on the lighting plan that they have the glare shields
Okay,
on those poles. So hopefully that'll satisfy that.
gotcha. All right.
Yeah, as what Carr said, we did have dialogue with them during the process the last couple of weeks to get that.
Okay, all right, that's it for me, Jim.
Okay,
You-
Peter, I know
Yeah.
Peter had something, I know
I
Gary's
just,
got something, and I
Peter, go
got
ahead.
something, so.
The parking lot for Avita and the buffer, and you said you had to stop at the alley. Could you explain that alley? Why did you have to stop the buffer at the alley? You couldn't go across the alley,
You mean,
Is that a-
why did we not park in the alley?
no. Why don't you extend the buffer between the,
Because it's intended to keep, we're trying to keep that open for egress, or for access across all the properties.
because right now, it's kind of, there's a little bit of gravel there, a little bit of grass, as I saw it. It didn't really look like an alley to me.
It's got some
No,
big holes in it.
it's an
too.
alley. We actually closed a portion of the alley and created a cross easement agreement so that it's no longer, an alley has a right-of-way associated with it.
Right.
So that alley was converted to cross easements. We have a document that was recorded. Town of Bel Air reviewed it. And it allows for all the properties to utilize that alley, which is now easement as opposed to a right-of-way. So we have a gate there, so we don't want to close off access. We want access to remain.
All right. I was just curious, Dave. So,
Yeah.
in other words, folks can come in through, off of George Street and go up the alley
Mm-mm,
and then,
no,
Well, we have a
they
gate,
got a gate there.
but the gate can be unlocked if needed.
Yeah, but not for people coming in and out.
Right,
I
so
think is what he's getting at
right,
here.
that's what,
the original alley will end at the gate. From the gate over to Baltimore Pike, the alley was eliminated and replaced with cross easements. But we did not want to block it off completely, so we're putting a gate there that can be shut and locked, but it can also be opened in case there's a need to come in from the alley. Maybe emergency use or something, I don't know. But, we
Just
didn't
to-
want to close off the
I
alley.
think it said police department and fire department were gonna get a key to that gate.
or you're gonna.
in-
Yeah.
in this-
It's gonna
That would be
lock.
the recommendation.
Yeah.
Just to clarify what he's saying, no offense, David, just a little inarticulativity. Where the gate is, approximately where the gate is, from that gate to Baltimore Pike, the town of Bel Air owned it. So back in 2018, they closed the alley and then abandoned the alley, like a fee simple interest, and for all intended purposes, gave it to the adjoining property owners along that alley on both sides. So what he's talking about, the reciprocal easement, is the owners got together and decided, okay, we're gonna grant each other reciprocal easements, so you can access mine, I can access yours for vehicular pedestrian. But from the gate to George Street, that is remained open and still,
It's just not gonna be part of this project.
it's not gonna be a part of
No
this
use.
project, yeah, because all of the residences that still back up to that alley on that side of the gate still use it, and the town arguably has an interest in it. We did not abandon that part of it. So, like the adjoiner, I think, who's here, Mr. Brown, he can keep going, assuming he does gain access through that alley, he can continue to do so. He
There's
can't go any
also a
further
fence
than the
at
gate.
The other side, behind 7-Eleven too. Right behind 7-Eleven, they put a fence up.
Yes,
keep
they
it from
did.
going through the alley.
Yeah, but the 7-Eleven, like the 7-Eleven, 208 Hayes, it used to be Sours, they all got this easement, and I did review it, and it does provide adequate, rights all the way through there, so they can access it back and forth. Okay, does that make sense? Did I help explain a little bit?
Yeah, so it's a private alley.
Part of it is public, and part of it is private.
All right, from George Street to
The
the
first
parking
gate,
lot.
I
Is that
actually have an
private or
exhibit
public?
that I can show up.
that's public,
Okay.
okay?
That's public.
Yeah,
You just can't get into their property.
Right, well, I was
Yeah.
gonna suggest if it's private, then a sign ought to go up on on George Street as you enter the alley, private. Or
yeah, no, because it's owned by the town of Bel Air, arguably.
okay.
Yeah, so
I'm not
everybody
saying
can go back through there.
Anybody can go back.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Okay, is that all, Peter?
yes.
Okay, Gary, I know you had something? Yeah, you guys have already asked about 79% of my questions here. Daniel, you have anything? No, sir. Okay, I only got a few left then. My first question was a general question. Is this one big open restaurant inside, is that what the common area means? Both of these are joined, open inside, or are they two separate buildings?
No, it's one building with a common area. It has a Dunkin' Donuts and a Jimmy John's.
So I can leave Dunkin' Donut counter and go right over to Jimmy John counter.
Yeah, if you go
Within-
into any Dunkin' Donuts, a lot of times you see ice cream, Baskin Robbins, Dunkin' Donuts. This is a Dunkin' Donuts, Jimmy John's kind of combo.
Okay. And one of the items I know, I saw, and I think it was in your notes too, Wakar, there was no mechanical shown on your elevation drawings for your air conditioning units, any walk-ins that might be outside, any of that. Do you plan on putting that in your final drawing when you submit it?
Well, they'll have to be, yeah.
Yeah.
A full set of structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing would be submitted to the town. for
With
review.
screening included? Has to be screened.
Whatever building code requirements would have to be met, yeah.
Will it be on the rooftop?
Do you know if it's on the roof or on the ground? HVAC.
Yeah, I mean, just to meet the requirements, code requirements, so there are different ways, side mounted, roof mounted configurations.
All right, so if it's gonna be roof mounted, it will have to be, it would have to be screened from all sides from, that are adjacent to the public right of way.
Definitely. Like a flash enclosure, will enclose it with a vinyl or screen or something.
That could be sufficient.
Okay, and one other note I wanted to make, this is more for all of us. Health Department noted in there that your utilities were gonna be Harford County Government Water and Wastewater. And it should be American Water Works, Maryland American. And the sewer goes to Town of Bel Air, which does go to Harford County, but it's metered through Bel Air. So Bel Air would be the one servicing both, the sewer, and then the water would be serviced by Maryland American. Let's see. Answer that. Oh, and there was one other note I saw in the architecture's comments, and I agree with them after seeing the elevations. The front of the building that you have there, the entrance, I think he made a note about enhancing it a little bit, so it looks like a regular entrance, maybe an awning there or something. Yeah. After I saw the drawing, I saw what he was talking about. It is kind of bland looking for an entrance. I mean, it should stand out a little bit. And I don't know, maybe an awning on it or something, I don't know. Something to show that it is an entrance going into the building there. And I just got one other question. What is a lily turf? I see that on this drawing in several areas.
A what?
A lily turf on the landscape
That's
plan.
a landscape?
And I see it at several areas. I see it at your little sediment pond there, or your stormwater pond, and I saw it along the left side of the parking area. I have no idea what that is. If Kevin was here, he would know, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, I'll Google it, too. I just thought it'd be easier just to ask you, since it was on the drawing.
It's some kind of, let me see what the symbol is. That's general ground cover, actually. So that's general ground cover.
Yeah, cool, okay. That's all the questions I have. Anybody else on the board have anything? Okay, this is the time we get to turn it over to the public. Would anybody in the public like to come up and speak? Okay. Well, you gotta go up to the podium, sir, so it gets recorded. You wanna state your name, address?
Robert Brown, and I live next door to the Santiago property. And I came here for just a few reasons, and one of them was the alley. And I see here, this is my property here, but it looks like the alley is cut off before the end of my property. And I want to have rear access, unless I'm reading that wrong.
So the red portion of the middle alley is the town's portion. and everything behind that.
Yeah, I know, but why all of a sudden is my property closed off in the back? We were here for meetings earlier, a couple of years ago or last year, and they had talked about selling half that alley to people that live there, so that didn't fly. But I want to have rear access to it. I should have rear access to it.
You do. I think that picture is old or something. That's showing a building on the Avita parking lot. Am I- And that's where the alley ends. That's an old photo.
Looks like the gate's here.
So
Yeah.
that alley.
That's what I was gonna ask him, is to clarify where that end is.
Yeah, it looks like it's past your property, according to this drawing.
That's-
Wait, the front drawing there, sir, if you want to go to the front drawing, can you point it out to him on the drawing that you have there? Because I think it's easier to see on that drawing.
Zoning line, buffer line. Right here.
The other concern I had, there was a property in back of mine, and they took a house down. It's Santiago property. But since they took that house down, I get a lake every time it rains on my property, from front to back. So you have to be concerned about taking care of that.
Well, they are going to put a stormwater
Right, I just wanna
management
make-
pond in there, and hopefully everything's graded, should be, I don't have a grading plan, but they should have it graded to that pond, any runoff. But, yeah, that's a concern, what that is,
Yeah, I talked
actually.
to,
Is that from just stormwater coming down there, because it's not
and
controlled,
with the
or?
blacktop, it's only gonna be worse,
Steps.
running off of that.
But it's supposed to rain into the stormwater. Remember, they're gonna do grading, yeah.
That should keep it off your
Yeah, I
property,
just wanna
I
make
would
everybody
hope.
aware of that, okay?
So if there's any grade issues on his property that collects water, you can't address that, but you can keep the water from flowing.
Okay.
Well, hopefully that'll work out, sir.
Yeah, okay,
If not,
thanks.
contact the town, and
got anything
they'll
else?
have to address it.
Oh, I know what else. Did I hear you say that all the drive-through traffic was gonna come out through Archer Street, all of it?
No, no, we've got, they're coming in from Hayes. Primarily, they're gonna be in line to order donuts and coffee, or they're gonna exit outside. Yeah, these are islands, this is an island, and it's also spring. So they'll come in and order and leave. Every now and then, they might want to circle around. Just have that ability to- They're gonna go down. We didn't bring the trucks we used to buy. The bulk of the traffic will be getting out of here. Yeah, I just thought I would.
Does that answer your question, sir? Okay. And like we said, after construction, looking at it on paper and in reality could be two different things. And it should be addressed either by them or by the town there by that alley. Thank you, sir. Do
Mr. Chair, I
have
had a
any
couple
other-
things.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Liz.
Okay, so, after review of the site plan, a couple of things. I noticed from a legal perspective that I'd recommend to, the board. Encroachment agreement, a portion of the roof of Green Drop encroaches upon the Dunkin' Donuts lot. It's my understanding that the property owner is willing, I've heard two different stories, so please, by all means, correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that they were okay with entering in basically an easement to allow for the overlap of the Green Drop building onto the Dunkin' Donuts, and then I heard he was gonna saw off top of the roof. I think it's probably better for everybody if you just entered into an encroachment agreement, and that way,
That's the intent.
okay,
It's only 10 inches,
okay,
and it's the roof. It's not the actual building. I mean, it's part of the building, but it's the roof.
correct. And that's fine, but, you know, it's not a problem until it's a problem.
Right.
The access easement for the back lot, the Santiago management lot, your comment says that Alvida will be granting an ingress and egress easement. That's incorrect. Alvida doesn't have the right to grant the easement. It has to come from Santiago Management LLC and benefit 208 Hay Street and LLC and 204 Baltimore Pike LLC. Does that make sense? So I would strongly, because otherwise you have no legal rights to traverse over.
It's the property owner, not the.
It's not the person who's gonna just park there, you know? Yes, but you say Alvida will grant the easement. It's not Alvida that grants the easement, it's Santiago Management. Okay, the property owner has to grant that. You also indicated that you were intending to consolidate 208 South Hayes Street and also the adjoining property, which I think is 204 Baltimore Pike. Yeah, those two. I would strongly recommend any consolidation come with a deed. So you can consolidate, you can record a plat in the land records. You will still have two parcels as far as the state and everybody else is concerned. So, I mean, you know, that's what my recommendation is. The only thing that I am prepared to draft for the town is the development agreement for this board. So I strongly suggest that your client contact an attorney because it won't move any forward until this is done. It's not the town's responsibility to pay me to do it. It's, you guys have to do it if the board agrees with these documents having to be done. Is that okay? Did anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah, I do.
Sure,
So you're suggesting you want that to be in our
Yes.
recommendations?
absolutely.
So that was a consolidation of what, again, please?
Consolidation of lots, parcel 1244 and 1246 lot 2. Is that right, Mr. Taylor? Yes. Okay. So there's a lot line right now that runs right through here.
Right.
And the lot line stays there until he actually gets a deed of record to get rid of that.
Right.
Deed of consolidation is what it's called, deed of consolidation.
And you said to consolidate with a deed?
Yes,
Right.
I know. Yeah, correct. That would actually give you one tax ID number, one parcel, rather than two. The plat won't do it. Okay.
So what you just
No, he said, you did not want to consolidate 1245 with that, right? Yeah, that's the development agreement.
Yeah.
Correct. And then, as far as the landscape that Mr. Taylor outlined as a concern with respect to the utility agreement, or excuse me, the utilities that are buried, usually deviations from the code are requiring a variance to the Board of Appeals. However, under 16558 entitled Street Trees, Section A2, it states, trees shall be planted as to not interfere with utilities and in paren buried or overhead roadways, sidewalks, site easements, or street lights. Tree species, location, and spacing shall be approved by the Planning Commission as part of the landscape plan. So that was a little curveball to me. I did not realize that there was an issue with this. So based on my reading, unless the Director of Planning has a different idea, who luckily is here today, it seems to me that the Planning Commission has the right, because basically you're kind of asking for relief, right? The architectural, or excuse me, the landscape architect is saying, hey, you gotta put street trees along here, right? And you're saying, that's not gonna work because I have utilities underneath there. So, correct. but you were sort of asking for a little bit, like the landscape architect was suggesting more to the planning commission, which they have the power to make you do. However, you're pointing out that there is a utility that stops there. Now, my question to you, because I can't tell from the site plan, does that utility line run all, parallel to Hay Street? Okay. Okay, so it goes all the way across the front side of the property? Okay. It shows one spot, but I can't tell if it how far it runs. It goes across that road. Okay. So because of the fact that there's a utility buried, the planning commission has the right to sort of deviate from what the requirement is, unless my interpretation is incorrect. He is the god when it comes to it, not I.
I did want to mention that after reviewing the landscape consultant reviewer's comments, the suggestion was only going to be 7 major deciduous street trees. So, based off the director's interpretation of the number that's appropriate, we can proceed as such.
But am I understanding that you're saying that 7 isn't going to work, right?
I'm saying that, first of all, we really can't plant here, so we were counting all of this vegetation as meeting the requirement. And I think planning was not allowing us to count these trees, this vegetation on the other side of the driveway.
Okay.
I was counting it because it's in the front yard setback. And a street tree really has no definition in the code. It's trees planted along the street. And there's obviously no right of way available with green that we can plant in. So you can't plant a technically normal street tree that's in the right of way, so it has to be on the property. So how far back into the property is it considered a street tree? So I was considering everything within the front yard setback
Mm-hmm.
to be a street tree.
Okay, so can you do 7?
Whatever we have is what I thought we could do, and these are
7 major.
Major.
or a combination of major, minor, and
Okay.
The
they're telling
landscape
me you got
reviewer's
6.
the landscape reviewer consultant's comments said minor deciduous trees are not recommended. So we're just going to recommend 7 major deciduous trees.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get the point across. Is that he said, this is what you're requiring, or what the the landscape architect is saying needs to be complied with under the code. He's saying, I can't do it because I have a utility running across there. The code says the trees can't be planted over top buried utilities. They have the power to deviate from what the code says and what the landscape architect is recommending based on the fact that there are utilities that are causing a problem with him providing that requirement. So, I guess he's giving you what he's saying he can do. The department is saying that doesn't comply with the code. So the planning commission has to make a determination as to what happens here. I mean, from a
What's your
legal
appropri-
standpoint.
what's your appropriate
we
number?
can't exactly, we cannot disturb the utilities. So if you guys are satisfied with what the applicant has proposed in lieu thereof, then you can, I'm telling you my interpretation, unless Michael disagrees, is you have the power to deviate from it.
Okay, so we're going to have to change the wording in our motion then.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No. We
Yeah,
couldn't really resolve
I
it.
found the requirements, and then I found also the plan, and I read both of them, and when I got done with it, I was like, whoa.
No, we couldn't really resolve this with the applicant, and so we wanted to bring it to your attention and have the discussion, whatever you all are comfortable with, I think.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. We can't interfere
Right.
with utilities there. I mean,
Correct.
if there was a sewer main there, we couldn't do that either, and
Correct.
But if the comment is, instead of you know, what he's showing now is what, 6 magnolias, and if he wants 7 major deciduous trees, you know, is his comment location, or is it number and species?
What's location?
Number of major deciduous trees. So essentially, within the front yard setback, we can allow whatever trees can fit along the frontage strip within the front yard setback, to be a total of 7. But as long as there's no interference with underground or overhead utilities.
Well, where he's got
There's
stuff
none
planted
there.
right now, it looks like, you know, like against the front of the building, that's free and clear. Is it just a question of, okay, you're showing 6 and I want 7? Or the review?
They're not majors,
They're
I
not
think they're
majors.
minors.
And that was my question, is it species? Is it like, okay, this
Yeah.
magnolia is not
Correct.
gonna cut it?
Yeah, and see, I think Kevin's saying basically, no, it's supposed to be major street trees, you know, and so you guys have to make the determination as to what he's proposed is okay.
Well, just looking at the plan with all the other shrubs, trees going in, I don't see where else you could put 7 major trees. Unless there's, I really don't see where you could put them.
So generally,
I think you're limited by space. The utilities kind of threw a wrench into that. I mean, the way I see it on the drawing, but, and I know the area, there's no utilities above there, so that wasn't a concern, but the utilities underneath is a concern. So, I don't know what you're allowed to put over utilities, I guess would be the question for you guys on what you're allowed to put in there and what we're gonna require them to put in there.
So I think it's a difficult one. The other thing, in talking about it with Kevin a little bit, we're not 100% sure of what the situation is with the utility underground. So I think seeing perhaps a bit more would be better. I don't know if we can fit the larger trees in that space, as you're pointing out. So do you want to provide us some guidance, and them some guidance in terms of what you would like to see if this is not sufficient? I mean, it's a challenging site regardless.
I
not
mean,
just
I
on-
like
Es-
green as well as anybody.
Essential-
And the more the better, but, we also gotta use a little common sense on
We
this
do.
one.
There's some
uh,
trade-offs here.
I mean, in my opinion is we rewrite it, where we accept what is permitted to be put there somehow in that wording, because I don't think that's gonna be decided right now. I guess Kevin's gonna be the expert on that to get back to us on that.
So we could work with you to add some additional trees if it's feasible to do so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to suggestions. This is what I thought we could do, and as I said, this is ground cover because of utilities, so we didn't plant trees there. We had a little bump out here, so we thought we could do a minor flowering maybe. And then these magnolias, you know, they can grow up in this
Mhm.
tree-like entities, and so we're trying to plant attractive plantings along the front of the building. We obviously don't want to hide the building, just want it to be kind of all work together, landscaping and building architecture. So we didn't put major deciduous trees along the front, we put, minor trees, and then we put the major trees where we could. So I'm open to suggestions, but this is what I thought we could do.
Well, there's a couple areas we have it in the site plan and the landscape area where we're gonna have to reword that.
Now, do you guys, based on what Michael has said, do you guys want to approve the site plan and then table the landscape plan and see if these guys can kind of come up with a potentially suitable alternative or bring it back? Because I don't want to hold them up completely if you
Yeah,
guys
on
are
a
okay with
couple
the
of
site
shrubs.
plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same
we do-
time,
Can we do a partial? Because B and C, I think we can address those.
yeah, you can address
only
the
rest
site
on the
plan,
day.
absolutely, but
And
just
then-
table the landscape plan to get further information.
Can we change the wording to say agreement upon, the
You
town and
could.
the developer?
Yeah.
on what they decide is best to put there?
Yeah, if you guys
I mean,
want to
I'm
do
good
that.
with that. I
It's
don't
up to
know
you guys.
How you guys feel about it? Sure. Yeah, we can make it a conditional agreement to be worked out. We can put that in our wording, I believe.
Yeah, and it's obvious you understand the intent, so that we just don't want concrete against the road, yeah.
Well, I also have a question. In the Lily Turf area where you're showing a crepe myrtle, you're showing a mix of crepe myrtle and star magnolia, are you able to put a major deciduous in those locations?
Yeah.
Maybe we can
Yeah,
explore a
can't put
low,
major trees
a
out.
low rooting major deciduous. Yeah.
Right. Now, that sidewalk becomes a town sidewalk, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we don't want to tear up our own sidewalk.
Part of it's also state as well,
Yeah, MDOT.
mainly
yeah.
state.
Isn't that a state road, 22?
922.
Yeah, that becomes state property to maintain. If it deteriorates, I think they're responsible for it, but you're going to still shovel it. It's your sidewalk to shovel. That's part of your agreement. So, do we want to try to reword this so we can get this through on the landscape? We want to do it on the fly because that's a lot of writing. Yeah, poor recorder. Okay, when we get to that part, we'll have to word it in a way that's agreeable to everybody. Okay, any other discussions? Issues? Okay. With that being said, I'm going to open for a motion from the board.
I'd like to motion to approve the comprehensive plan. The proposed plan uses and meets the provisions of the 2022 comprehensive plan as required by the Town Code Section 165-19.
Do I have a second motion?
Second.
Okay, roll call. Jeffrey?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
And the chair's an aye as well.
It's a motion to approve the site plan with the following conditions. One, prior to building permit application submission of a final site plan for signature incorporating comments from the staff report and comments from the Bel Air Volunteer Fire Department comments dated May 12, 2026. B, the Maryland State Highway Administration comments and access permit conditions dated May 22, 2026. C, the town architectural consultant comments dated May 25, 2026. D, the Harford County Health Department comments dated May 21, 2026. E, the Harford County Soil Conservation District comments dated May 20, 2026. F, the Bel Air Public Works comments dated May 27, 2026. G, the Maryland American Water Company comments, which are pending. H, the Town Landscape Architectural Consultant comments dated June 23, 2026.
Which we got to add to that. We got to amend that.
How's that?
How are we going to amend that, Liz? What's the best way, in your opinion?
Just restate it for the record. so we can get it down?
So,
Or are you looking for verbiage? I'm sorry.
verbiage, so we can put it in the record for the agreement.
For which one? I'm sorry.
Well, for H, we could say town landscape architectural consultant comments,
Oh.
pending agreement on the quantity and size of the street trees.
Yes, quantity and species of the street trees.
Say it again?
Quantity and species.
Oh, species.
Yeah,
Yes.
species. Because they're saying minor, the landscape architect's saying major.
Yep.
So,
Species type, I guess.
So I'll try wording that again.
okay.
Town landscape architectural consultant comments, dated June 23, 2026, pending agreements on the quantity and species of street trees. Good for now?
Sound good, everybody? Can I have a second motion?
Oh, wait, we still
Oh,
have
oh,
We
I'm
got a
sorry.
whole lot more to do.
19.
Oh, geez, yeah.
123 more
Holy
things.
crap.
Number 2, ensure that the State Highway Administration right-of-way dedication is properly documented and submitted as part of the building permit application package. 3, resolve the roof overhang encroachment from parcel 1246, lot 1 onto parcel 1244 by a perpetual easement. Proof of recording must be submitted before final building permit improvement, approval. And that did say encroachment, which is what you wanted, right? Yep, okay. Number 4, loading, unloading, servicing of refuse recycling is prohibited between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. within 500 feet of a residential district unless waived by the Planning Commission based on mitigating factors. I don't believe I heard any waivers.
Is anybody in agreement that that should not be waived?
Yeah, that's one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
discussions I forgot to bring up, that it was on my notes. That
That's refuse recycling only, no. So 10
yeah,
10 p.m., 7 a.m., that's the same as
Yeah,
it is,
yeah.
right? Yeah, Bel Air.
Should just be period. So everything from unless waived by the planning commission based on mitigating factors is stricken from the record, is that correct?
Yes.
Because you're not
Yeah.
waiving it.
We're not waiving.
Okay.
mm.
So that note is to be included onto the site plan.
Can you say that again?
That note is to be included on the site plan.
Yes. So just add in that comment. So we're saying loading, unloading, servicing of refuse recycling is prohibited between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. within 500 feet of a residential district and duly noted on the site plan. Prior to final, number 5, prior to final approval, the applicant shall include a note on the plan stating that key access for the proposed swinging gate with a lock between parcel 1257 and parcel 1258 are provided to the Town of Bel Air Police Department and the Bel Air Volunteer Fire Department. Number 6, prior to final plan approval, the applicant shall provide a shared access easement between the 7-Eleven and the Green Drop site to enable access between the Dunkin' Donuts Jimmy John's area and the former public right-of-way from Middle Alley, as parcels 1246 and 1260 are not included within the development site. Is that worded correctly, according to the, all right.
Yes, but we're gonna add 1246 lot 2.
Understood. Do I need to reread it?
Yes.
All right. Prior to final plan approval, the applicant shall provide a shared access easement between the 7-Eleven and the Green Drop site to enable access between the Dunkin' Donuts Jimmy John's area and the former public right-of-way from Middle Alley, as parcels 1246 Lot 2 and 1260 are not included within the development site. Number 7, prior to final plan approval, the applicant shall revise the plans to demonstrate compliance with the Town of Bel Air Code 165-531-2I I think it's an LD, by reducing the number of outdoor dining seats from 20 to no more than 9 seats
No,
consistent.
It's 6.
It's down to 6?
9 stricken from the record.
Okay.
But replaced with 6 or just stricken?
Just stricken, so you can go 9 seats and keep going. Or excuse me, 6 seats and keep going. Sorry.
Okay, all right. To no more than 6 seats, consistent with the maximum allowance of 75% of the required indoor seating of 12 seats. 8, the final plan should show an adjusted stop bar and crosswalk at the intersection of George Street and the unsigned Maryland 922, subject to agency approval to improve traffic flow and intersection operations. And then I believe we've added a number 9,
Yes.
which is, I believe it's gonna say parcels 1244 and 1246 lot 2 shall be consolidated with a deed. Is that all I need to say?
And record plat?
In record plat, he's got to do the record
Oh,
plat.
and
he knows
record
that.
plat.
Yeah.
That's good.
What about development agreement for the landscaping, or would that be in landscaping?
That can be in landscaping. Okay.
Santiago is that?
I don't have any note on, you wanted to make a correction about the San Diego, the
For the access easement.
But where, is that a separate line item? Because I don't have anything in my notes about that.
Okay, site plan, I'll kind of read it out for you, put it together, ready?
Sure.
Okay, under site plan, an access easement from Santiago Management LLC for the benefit of lots parcel 1244, lot 2, right?
1246 lot 2.
I'm sorry, 1246, lot 2, and 1244. Yes.
Is that right?
Okay, and
I think
the
that's right.
site plan should be amended accordingly.
He doesn't have to repeat that, does he? We're
You
good
guys
with
are
that.
okay with me
I'm
saying
okay
it?
with you adding to his motion if you're okay with it. That you
That would be
restated.
a lovely number 10, as you stated, yes.
Okay.
What I said. Okay.
Can I have a second?
Second?
Roll call. Jeffrey,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Daniel,
Aye.
and the chair says aye. Okay, moving along. This one's gonna be fun. This one we're gonna have to reword as we go. Whoever makes the motion. Who wants to make the motion? There you go,
I
Dan.
make a motion to accept the landscaping plan, I guess, at least in part. At a minimum, approval of the landscape plan is conditioned to the following. Number 1, prior to building permit application, submission of a final landscape plan for signature incorporating comments from the staff report and the following. Paragraph A, revised plans to include the required street trees along the 364 linear feet of frontage on South Hayes and Baltimore Pike, including parcel 1246, lot 1, as mandated by the Town of Bel Air Code 165-58A. The current proposal of 3 major, 2 minor deciduous trees is deemed insufficient. The revised plan must provide for, let me say, 7?
7,
7.
7
major.
major deciduous, 12 minor deciduous, or an equivalent combination, with additional trees along the Baltimore Pike frontage of parcel 1246.
So I have to make a correction there. So there should be no mention of minor deciduous. There should only be reference to major deciduous. And
Hang on. So that is what the department's recommended. We just discussed that the department, is my understanding, the department and the applicant are going to work together with our landscape architect to determine what the number and species type of trees are going to be. Did I misunderstand?
No,
No, that's
Okay.
the way
Yeah.
I understood it.
Okay, so
So if we-
number 1A is stricken. We're not doing that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
But we need to put in something that says what we are gonna do.
yeah,
You're gonna,
shouldn't we be saying to agree with site plan 1H, that there will be discussions and agreement on the quantity and species?
yes,
Should we repeat that in the landscape?
correct,
Right,
yes.
okay.
Okay, because otherwise, if you guys say that 1A is good, he's got to comply with 1A.
Right.
And that's undo what we just did.
Right.
So we're gonna replace 1A with, pending an agreement on the size and species of trees for the street trees.
Number and species type of the street trees.
Did I say number and species?
You said size.
Size.
It's okay.
So
Number.
Daniel will have to repeat that.
Yeah, Daniel will have to repeat that.
So we're gonna, to be agreed upon by the number of
Number and species.
street major deciduous trees and species?
No, number and
Just
species
number and
type.
species.
Number and species.
They'll kind of figure out whether it's going to be major or minor deciduous trees. Street trees.
We don't have to state in there for the reasons, do we?
No.
Just make
No,
a general comment.
correct.
Okay.
And if worse comes to worse and they can't work it out, then the planning department will send them back to you guys. So,
So would refer to the site plan 1H to be agreed upon of the number and species of street trees. Okay. Paragraph B, if relief from the Town of Bel Air Code 165-59A2 is denied, the applicant must revise the plans to increase the buffer width from 8 feet 0 inches to 10 feet to comply with 165-59A2 and 165-59A3.
okay, are
Right.
we approving that waiver?
That's the one I also forgot to bring up, I should have brought up.
Are you allowing 8 feet? That's what,
I believe we can,
Yeah, I mean,
I'd agree
me
to 8 feet.
personally, I didn't see a problem with it.
Okay,
Based
Do we
on
need to make
the-
that a motion or anything, or we just say, change the language?
just, I'd say it again, but there's one thing that's missing, is that the applicant must revise the plans to increase the buffer width from 8 feet. Wait a minute, no, I'm sorry.
To 8
To
feet.
reduce
Increase the buffer.
the buffer width from 10 feet
To
to
8
8
feet.
feet.
The buffer from 10 feet to 8 feet.
Yeah, it's being reduced by 2
and then
feet.
Daniel.
So my understanding when I read it, the report, it was because they have to have 24 feet for the parking and behind the parking.
Mhm.
So
16.
I think the 2 feet is worthy to have that extra 2 feet for that reason.
Yes, and the buffer is going to be satisfied by a 8-foot
Fence.
board-on-board vinyl fence pursuant to Resolution 118-18. Sorry.
What,
8-foot
What she
fence
said.
or those, 6-foot fence?
Is
6
it
foot, isn't
6?
it?
I'm sorry.
It's on 8-foot centers, I think.
Yeah.
6-foot
6 foot.
fence on 8-foot centers.
so, sorry,
we
Dan,
leave
I'm
it
gonna
as
put
is?
words in your mouth.
Hang on 1 second, let me write it down real quick. Let's try this. The applicant is granted a reduction in the buffer width from 10 feet to 8 feet to comply with sections 165-59A2 and section 165-59A3. Buffer to be satisfied by a 6-foot board-on-board vinyl fence. Is that good?
That's perfect.
Okay.
By 6 foot border.
And then, as mentioned, number C is to be removed
Okay.
because parcel 1246 lot 1 is not part of this proposed development.
Mm.
All right, ready for
That's the
B,
green
for
drop
B
zone.
again?
Or we can just take it as she said it.
Go ahead, Dan. Take a shot at it.
Paragraph B, if relief from the Town of Bel Air Code 165-59A2 is denied,
Wait, we already did
Is
that one.
approved.
oh, okay. The plans would be to decrease the buffer from 10 feet to 8 feet, and the buffer to be satisfied by a 6-foot board-on-board vinyl fence.
Correct. You want me to spout out the development agreement and the retaining wall easement? Okay, the applicant shall enter into a development agreement for all lots within the project area to conform to the landscape plan, a portion of which is satisfied on parcel 1245. The applicant shall enter into an easement for the retaining wall on parcel 1246, lot 1, as shown on the landscape plan. Try to make that really easy. Is that right?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
yes. On the parcels, I didn't write the parcels down. It's all
It's
the
parcel 1246, lot 1.
Lot 1.
1246, okay. We good with accepting Liz's, or you want to reword it? You good? Okay, can I have a second?
We still have the D and E to
Two more.
lighting
D&E.
fixtures.
Oh. Okay,
That's it.
that's it.
That's it. So only A and B.
A and B. Okay,
That's on the old one. On the revised one, those were removed.
Oh, I got so many copies of it that I have the wrong one I'm looking at.
Okay, so we need a vote on that.
okay, now we need a motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call, finally. Jeffrey,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Daniel. The chair is an aye. Just kind of like deny. Hey, nice workout. Okay. Can I have a motion on special development?
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the drive-through service based on the following findings of fact. Pedestrian and vehicular circulation is coordinated throughout the site. 2, drive-through lanes are clearly marked and do not block service or emergency access. 3, adequate spaces for the queuing of vehicles are provided. 4, noise from the ordering speakers will be limited based upon state of Maryland standards for control of noise pollution. 5, drive-through lanes are located to the rear and side of the building.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Jeffrey,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Daniel? And the chair takes an aye. Okay, who wants to take the next special development?
I move for approval of the outdoor dining use based on the following findings of fact. Number 1, no amplified music or public address systems will be in operation between the hours of 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. Number 2, no recreational games or live entertainment will be permitted between the hours of 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. Number 3, requirements of Chapter 345, Peace and Good Order of the Town Code will be adhered to during operation of the use. Number 4, does this need to be current outdoor seating is above the required? what we, and if I'm looking at the right copy here, current outdoor seating is above the required 75% required capacity for the principal permitted use, and there are no temporary enclosures proposed. I was gonna say, aren't we,
We're reducing the number of seats for outdoor dining, is that correct?
yeah,
Correct.
What to what?
6, unless they, okay, so I'm gonna change it to say, current outdoor seating is limited to a maximum of 6?
Yep, 6 seats.
6 seats. And number 5, the use is not within a shopping center and will not serve alcoholic beverages.
Second.
Roll call, Jeffrey,
Aye?
Peter,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Daniel,
Aye.
and the chair takes an aye also.
All right, congratulations.
Okay, we got through that one. Did I miss anything? We good?
Thank you.
you
Again,
for your
we
patience.
appreciate all the hard work from Makar and Michael and Kevin. It's been a,
I had one more general question. It had nothing to do with decisions or anything. Are the donuts gonna be made on site or are they being shipped in?
it's a question for him.
Dunkin' franchisees have a central manufacturing facility in Elbridge. So they manufacture donuts fresh from scratch for 100 and about 50 locations. And they ship in truck in like every morning around 7. So they'll be made fresh, not at the site, but as an
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we're gonna move on to the next section. I just asked the audience to keep it down. And you can leave if you want, but if you're gonna stay, keep it quiet. Okay, take your time. We'll be good. We'll move on. Okay, we're gonna move on to the item that we switched around at the beginning, back to administrative matters. We're gonna discuss, Item B is going to be a discussion of the necessity of conducting work sessions of the Planning Commission and additional review time for large-scale projects and required amendments to the Planning Commission's power and duties rules of procedure. And this came up after our last meeting. We decided to put it on the agenda. A few of us were talking with Liz about it, asking her opinion, and she suggested that we bring it up for a discussion out in the open. So that's why this is on the agenda, and who wants to start the discussion?
Well, in my 3 decades on the Planning Commission, we've met, Steve and I were talking today, probably had 5 work sessions. And, I mean, they had to do with, like the hospital and when we were dickering with the Board of Education about the extension of McPhail Road, that kind of thing. But I think it's, without extra work sessions, there are concept plan review meetings of which the chair and of the Planning Commission or the vice chair usually attends. It's a roundtable discussion. The applicant, what they want to do, and then the town says, if you want to do that, you got to have this and do this and do that. So that kind of starts that process. And then we have a in-depth staff report. This particular one was 31 pages, I think, for tonight, of which is delivered a couple weeks ahead of time. And I know over the years, many times, I've called the Director of Planning, Kevin or Carol Dybel, and to chat with them about what's this and what's that. And then we get to the meeting, and we started this at 6 o'clock. It's now 8 o'clock, so we had a thorough 2-hour discussion and back and forth and everything. I mean, unless it's a really big project that, like a hospital or a school or something to that effect, I just don't see the need for calling special meetings, work sessions.
I was gonna say, if it's, for a large project, for a large project, I can see the utility of, so that you can, you know, where it's large, where it's complicated, it can be kind of tough and confusing to work things out here in this kind of setting. You know, when you're trying to come up with a final decision. So I think, now, how to define a large project, I think that almost has to be, you know, on a case-by-case basis. But I think the utility would, I think it'd be good to have that option.
Good. I know the board over the years, and I thank Peter for all his time on the board. I know that they put, what we have now is what they put together, and I think it's put together pretty well. And I agree that maybe on a large project, it would be worthy possibly, you know, like the mall or a hospital, like you said, a school or something like that. Just making sure all the ducks are lined up so that we don't waste their time and our time, making sure we got everything covered that they need to cover before they come in here. I thought the mall did a pretty, when I say the mall, each phase, I thought they did a pretty good job on their presentations. I wasn't a big fan of the project, I'll be honest with you, parts of it, but I understood what was happening, and it'd been nice to, I saw them unprepared a few times, very few, but it did happen. We've had other, even some small projects come in unprepared, which it surprised me because the developers that come in here all the time should have known better. So that's on them, but I think on a larger scale, case by case, it would be prudent to have a possible work session if everybody felt we should. I don't think we should just have a work session from the blind. I think it should be, you know, like an email out, your opinion. You think we should have a work session on this upcoming thing?
I think another thing about the comprehensive plan, which takes a lot of time, but I think tonight's meeting was a little unusual. It took 2 hours. There are many times when it's a much less complicated application, and we can go through it in a half an hour. And there are times when we don't have anything on the agenda but to meet for the comprehensive plan. And so I know that that's a lot of times how we got through the information that the Director of Planning and Development would provide for the comprehensive plan, was to tack it on to a meeting, or hey, you don't have any applications, but we can still get together first Thursday of the month and we'll go over these 5 or 6 comprehensive plan items. So again, you know, it didn't call for an extra work session. And also those work sessions are, they'll be streamed too, I would imagine,
Yes,
and they're open to the public.
correct.
Right.
I was gonna, when you guys got done, I was gonna kind of filter in some thoughts. If you guys had any comments you wanted to say.
I'm a rookie.
Oh.
You guys are telling me new information, so.
Okay, so all of your meetings are subject to the Open Meetings Act under state law, so that means you must have a quorum in order to have it, and you have to have it open to the public. Now, one thing that was sort of discussed after the last meeting, and myself and Mr. Bayer had discussed after the last meeting, was the concept of a work session for a quote-unquote larger project would entail 2 parts. Number 1, the Department of Planning has a very set schedule for submissions. They have a deadline. If you blow that deadline 2 weeks before the Planning Commission meeting or the Board of Appeals, you're not going on for that month. The concept of a large-scale project would change that time frame to require a month in advance. So that way, they would get it, they would process it as they normally do, have their meetings, provide it to the outside agencies and consultants, gather that all together, and then ship it off to you so you had more time to look at it before a work session. So a work session is not to replace these meetings. It is not to make a determination. It is not to make a final decision. It is only for you to gain information and review it and provide commentary, maybe discuss it with the staff. The applicant is invited to attend, but this is not the time for presentation. So I kind of wanted to give that sort of idea. There are no public and it's up to the board I would not recommend that you take public comments if the applicant can't present. So that's how kind of the Board of Town Commissioners sort of operates. It is this board's entire power. There's nothing in the code that says you have to. There is nothing in the code that has to be changed. Your powers and duties set forth that the chair can call a special meeting whenever he deems necessary. Now, we can amend that to say, you know, for large projects, but we need to have some feedback from you guys if you want to do that, to say what is a large project. Because what's going to happen is you guys are going to tell us what a large project is, square footage, number of units. They're going to turn around and they're going to change their policies, and then they're going to let people like Fred Ward know, you got a large project, don't you walk in this door 2 weeks before, like the normal schedule that we've had for years. You're going to have to bring it in much sooner than that. Does that make sense?
Yes, and for me, that the way you were, speaking about the 1 month, that was more what we don't have a lot of time. That's why I was saying, we were talking about it last time about the work session. Maybe we would meet
Mm-hmm.
and discuss it since we didn't have much time.
Yeah.
But if we give us more time, and, because legally, more than two of us aren't supposed to talk about these projects.
Correct.
Outside of this forum.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody has.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I suggested the work sessions for that reason.
Yeah.
Because we are not allowed to communicate with each other outside of here
Correct.
on a project.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
that was my thinking on a work session. That was it for larger projects only. But if we got more time, I think that would solve a lot.
Okay.
I mean, Peter can probably attest to past history on meetings
Mhm.
better than I can.
So a definition of a work session then? When I first saw this, I was thinking a work session would be more educational based as opposed to decision based.
You're absolutely
So
correct.
it's like-
That's exactly what it
I wanna know
is.
the
Exactly.
difference
We
between
wanna
a
know.
deciduous
Yeah.
tree and a,
Because
a
you can
fig
look
tree,
at the plans,
or whatever.
yeah, you can look at the plans and the comments of the, first of all, you would get it way before, right? So you yourself independently could have a little bit more time. This was a very unusual circumstance. It was this project that came in today, we had problems with mail, y'all getting stuff. And then it was a pretty complicated, I'm not gonna say it was I wouldn't call this a large project.
But it saved a lot of time in the future, I think, by us taking that extra time tonight. 'Cause
Correct.
We would have had to come back and do it all over again.
Correct. So this gives you the opportunity to sort of, because I know, Jimmy, you are very proactive and have your little list of questions, and because you sit down and you review it and you take the time to do it, and to some extent, all of you guys do. So you can bring that back and say, hey, I saw this. Well, Carr, what about that? Michael, what about this? Can you guys find out about that? And the applicant is going to be invited, so they can just plop down and start writing if they want, or they can watch it on YouTube later on and say, hey, let me see what the comments were of the planning commission, and get with. They can also trade back if, someone's not paying attention. It's entirely up to you. I leave it to the board's discretion. We just need a little bit of guidance as to what you want to do. What is a large project, and how much time do you want?
Do you have a month, do you have that month now, or is it all 2 weeks?
Right now, it's all 2 weeks, right?
Although, obviously, if it's something as complicated, we may take more time just as part of our review.
Right.
Sometimes there's a lot of dialogue going on for months and months and months.
Mm-hmm.
Something's going to submit it, right? We may get some concepts, et cetera, go back and forth. So
Right.
even in my short time here, like we've been talking about this project probably almost every single day with Carl and I.
Right.
Back and forth between the frameworks.
Yeah.
So I think part of it is just where do we loop you all in? And I think if it is a big complicated project, and you think you want all parties, including yourselves, to just have more clarity.
Right.
Even like tonight, we were talking about some of the issues about the trees. I mean, sometimes it's just trade-offs, there's not necessarily one right answer. So I think getting your guidance and your thinking about it, questions out there, bigger projects, I'm certainly in favor of whatever you all need to be able to make good decisions.
I can't see any reason to delineate large or small, because it can be complicated that wouldn't be dictated by size, so,
We
just-
have to have some standard to be able to apply to the applicants, to say, The planning commission considers this a large project, okay? I mean, the only other thing is because the only people that see it is Wakar and Michael. If you give them the discretion to say, hey, I think this project is gonna be a bit complex, you know, since I've been with the town, I could probably think of one, maybe two projects that I've worked on with them that should have probably had a work session. Standard on Bond was one. Pete was here for that. Hartford Mall Apartments, I know everybody has their feelings, but it was standing room only in this, it was unbelievably complicated. They were back here, lined up on the wall, the public.
Okay, so to go back to the definition of a working session is something that's educationally based as opposed to decision-based.
Correct, there is no decision that
That's the way
can
I
be
take
made,
it as well, yeah.
absolutely none.
Can, how ambiguous can we be about a reason for it?
Well-
Because complexity could be, this plan doesn't make sense, does it make sense to you guys? You know,
I mean,
complexity,
correct, and that's the problem is that you got, because Wakar and Michael have so much to do before you guys even see it. I mean, this particular project, not only have they been working on it since they've been here, I have heard about this project and its complexities prior to both of them starting. So-
Their original TIA literally came in November of 2024.
Correct. So there was, I was going back and forth with Kevin before, because it was, you know, on again, okay, they sorted it out, nope, it's off. And Kevin is, you know, well, you guys know, he was a very strict gatekeeper. If it did not have all the bows tied, he was not going to bring it to you. There was one that should have gone to you this month. They got it in time, but Michael stopped it because he's like, no, you're not ready yet. So he sent them back to go fix stuff. So, you know, I mean, I guess from an educational standpoint, since we do have a lot of new members, understand there is a significant amount of work that is done by these two people and myself before you even see it, you know? So, but I completely understand, but we need some kind of standard to be able, even if you just give the discretion to the director and say, okay, Michael, if you think this is complicated, large project, you're to contact the chair and say, hey, I think this needs a work session, and then let him make the call.
I'm good with that.
That's what I think.
Does that
because
make
You're
sense?
gonna have a better sense of, you know, you want, when we have these meetings, to be able to make progress, not to come up and say, oh, you know, now that I've let you folks look at it, we've thrown so much dirt up in the air that, you know, we've just taken 2 steps back instead of anything moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just making sure that the project's able to move forward, and if there are some technical issues or some things that we just can't necessarily resolve, being able to get your input on that, I think would be helpful to all parties. Because ultimately, you're going to be the ones voting to move forward at the end, so.
So
And I
what,
also think, I know nothing about engineering.
Mhm.
I don't know anything about utilities, any of that.
Mhm.
And I really don't think the role of the planning commission is to sit here and look at a plan and go over, oh, you ought to move this, or what is this line going, you know, that kind of thing. We're more, you read what's you have given us, you listen to what's presented, and then you kind of go with your gut. You're representing the citizens.
Mhm.
I mean, I was talking with Steve today. I've served with people who were teachers, and Rob Preston owned a stationery store.
Mhm.
None of us knew anything about these plans. That one thing with all those numbers on it, I've never seen that. That
That's a
kinda
photometric.
That made me dizzy. I had no idea what that
That's,
was.
that's because you shouldn't have
And-
got it. I mean, that's
Right.
the,
I mean, you know, and something like that winds up in our packet, and, you know, and this is important, the architect, you know,
Absolutely.
and that kind of stuff. So,
I think
if-
the
if-
most parts
If we're gonna
that,
have a work session so you can describe the lines and everything, I don't know.
Well, like Gary was saying, it's educational. It'd be, you know, I know prints and drawings and all that stuff and
I have
utilities,
no
but
idea.
there's still a lot of stuff on there, you know, where it's placed, like we talk about screening. I know the other board members who used to be on here, we all had the topics we jumped on,
Mm-hmm.
including Peter.
Oh, mine was
Peter
the,
had some he jumped
yeah,
on
the
too all
trash.
the time,
Yeah, I
so,
was the trash guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Get that
Yeah.
trash disposal
You know,
enclosed.
make sure,
Yeah.
You see a nice,
You always catch that too on the
Yeah,
plans,
yeah,
always. Wait
yeah.
a minute, that's not right.
that was mine.
and
Yeah.
there has been a lot of them wrong, and I've only been on this, what, less
Yeah.
than, a little over 2 years, and I know a lot of stuff was caught, that was just on the drawings.
Yeah.
No, but you're right with, you know, standard on bond with Hickory Flats, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
that would,
I mean,
be a
standard
work
on
session.
bond, I think went, what, 2 nights?
Yeah.
At least 2 full nights. They were hours.
Right,
So,
okay, I just,
okay.
And I would view this as the exception and not the rule. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, you know, we can flag something and say, I think it's pretty obvious when it comes in, like that one probably, we would all benefit. And we can talk about that and reach out to you, and if you think that makes sense as the commission, we can go ahead and schedule that and adjust the overall schedule accordingly. Because ultimately, you know, if it takes longer to work through issues even with you, that's still gonna drag out a bit. So let's try to get as much of that on the front end as we can.
So,
And that plan we just saw go through here, reasonable on the, I know it, I don't know all the acronyms, DDRB, whatever. It was the development plan,
mm-hmm.
and the mall people came here and supported it, because it would have been great to know that all up front
Mm-hmm.
and get into a long-term agreement. So I think that was a,
The
Well,
DRAs. Yeah,
thank
no, that would have been, trust me, you know, we were pushing hard for that, but it didn't pass. So, just so I'm on the same page with you, it sounds to me like you guys are in favor of work sessions to be called at the discretion of the Director of Planning and Community Development and the Chair of the Planning Commission. So what I'm gonna recommend is, I have this is your powers and duties. It just simply says, right now, what it says your rules are. Special meetings may be called by the chair upon written notice of a minimum of, a minimum of 2 members, by the chair or upon written notice. I don't want to take that away, okay? That's a power. Why it would be exercised, I don't know, but it's pretty ambiguous. I'll just add another one and say work sessions shall be called at the discretion of the Director of Planning and Community Development and the Chair of the Planning Commission. And we'll amend that and then have it approved by you guys, okay? For large or complex projects or something like that. Is that okay?
good by me.
So if you,
Okay. Yeah, because you might, this one was pretty complicated. I wouldn't say it warranted a, this one was one of those ones where when I finally got it, I was like, oh my God, I can see this and that. I think this is the first time I think I've had 4 or 5 different legal documents I'm recommending
Well,
you
and
guys.
that's where, you know, sometimes it almost feels, well, certainly that last submission with the mall where we were getting stuff at the last minute, and it was like, wait a minute, this is not the way it should go.
It wasn't, and it is not typical.
I
That
know.
was something where it was submitted, and it was submitted incomplete. It shouldn't have been accepted, is where it should have been. And so they were pushing, we were racing to try to make it happen. So otherwise, they would have, and I told them, if it doesn't happen, and you don't get your ducks in a row, and it gets to the planning commission so they can review it, you're gonna get tabled. And you know there's a landscape plan, you know there's this, I mean, and they just kind of they do what they do. They want to get moving, but they don't want to do the work to get moving. They want to put it on us, if that makes sense. So that was a very unusual circumstance. It shouldn't have been accepted. It should have just been kicked back, but that's the way it is, so.
We were able to get some things through that originally we couldn't get through on their plans. So I think
Yeah.
strategically, it kind of worked for us. a
It
little
did,
bit.
yeah.
I'm still a little concerned that, you know, I thought we made the point that, you know, hey, you've got a whole lot more parking than you need. We'd like to see more green, you know, we'd like to see you make some changes. And it's one thing to say, oh, yeah, but it's like, how much are we really gonna see in terms of change? And, you know, even with that, because it's not, you know, it's all conceptually enumerated, it's like, you know, I think you need to make some significant changes, and it's like, yeah, we can do a little tweak, you know. So I still felt like we were, understanding-wise, probably further apart than, you know, still there's still a distance between, you know, I think what we'd like to see and what they wanna do.
I mean, if I had to roll a dice or bet in Vegas, they're gonna be back before you.
Oh, I'm sure they, I
yeah.
mean, they have to.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to show a real plan. I mean,
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
that, you know, what they committed to was, okay, this many square feet of building, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be a gym, and yeah, when we figure out what we're gonna do, we'll come back and tell you.
Yeah.
We wanna be able to knock them all down.
Yeah. Jimmy?
Liz,
Steve,
question
I
on
was
the.
gonna say, Steve, do you have a comment on this?
No, I
Poor guy's been
just
trying.
want- no, I just wanted to say with the work session thing is if you require more time, how do you deal with that?
Well,
Because
that-
right now, it's only 2 weeks.
That's where the
So-
department has to revise their policies based on what the planning commission says, because if they do call it a work session, then what they're gonna have to tell the developers is, you gotta get this in much sooner than our normal
Right.
schedule, because I'm considering this a
Okay,
complex.
so
gonna
he
get
has the
tabled
authority
on
to say,
possibly.
well, even though it's in the procedures, 2 weeks, you can say, no, I want your plan a month because we consider this complex.
He's going to amend his procedures.
Okay.
Michael will.
Right, so
All
basically.
right, I just wanted to make,
Yeah.
that wasn't mentioned, that's why I wanted to make sure that there's some way where we can say a month.
Because everyone who does business with the town and has projects knows what the system is at the Department of Planning. They know they have to get it in 2 weeks. We're changing that quote-unquote rule on them, so they need to have adequate notice.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the other thing to keep in mind is like, a lot of these things are in the pipeline before they get formally submitted, where we're having the conversation. So I think what will happen is, if it's, and people will know, like, this is a complicated project, we recognize that. So if I say at that process, well, we're gonna schedule that work session with the planning commission, they're gonna understand that it's gonna take a little bit longer on the front end. But hopefully, what I would say is, if we can do this well, ultimately, it should make it more efficient of a process, because if we get that input, we work with them, and everybody's kind of amenable and works together, hopefully that actually makes the process a little bit smoother, because you'll have more information, we'll be able to process that and give them the input that they need.
It'll reduce the risk of tabling something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that.
It's gonna save them time in the long run.
Yeah, and that's what, the department has to do, so, because it's not really this side of the process, this side's of process's responsibility to get that stuff and get it where it needs to be. It's theirs.
Michael's
So.
gonna know. He'll
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Okay, any other questions on that? Okay, we'll draft some language for your powers and duties to amend them, and then we will submit them prior to your next meeting. Are we having a next meeting?
I think so, yeah.
Next month? Okay, so we'll get that to you as part of your agenda.
Yeah.
'Kay.
So we done with this item? We good?
Okay.
Okay, we got one more item.
Okay.
Might make it out of here before dark.
Yeah,
The last item is, item C, was discussion of staggering of terms of planning commission members.
yeah, so, I handed out a copy of my Westlaw printout on, Maryland annotated code land, wait a minute, land use article 2-102, on page 2, subsection C1, it says, "The term of a member of the planning commission other than an ex facto member, Sam, is 5 years or until the member's successor takes office. The terms of the members of the planning commission shall be staggered." It came to Steve's attention that your terms are not staggered. So we are currently violating Maryland law. So, what our proposal to do, and this won't impact Pete, is, okay, so right now, Pete's gonna expire 11/15/2026. Your term expires. Mr. Hines is April 23rd, 2029. No offense, Mr. Gray, I'm taking him off, he's an alternate. Jeffrey Stam, he currently expires 12/15/2030. Gary Webb currently expires 4/6/2031. So when we looked at these dates, we realized that several of you, 3 of you, are expiring within a year of each other. So we've gotten new members over, and that kind of shows, oh, wait a minute, we have a problem here. You're currently appointed to 5-year terms pursuant to Maryland law, but you're not staggered. So, not to pick on anyone, Jeffrey Stam, we're thinking about requesting that the Board of Town, and the Board of Town Commissioners have talked about how to straighten this out so we can kind of get you compliant with Maryland law. The easiest way that we figured to do this, again, not to point you out, Jeffrey Stam, currently, like I said, term expires 12/15/2030. We would like to pass a resolution that would reduce your term by 8 months. So that way your term would expire 4/15/2030. That would mean one member expires on 29, one member expires 2030, and one member expires 2031. You're going to have, in November, 2 seats open. Mr. Chismar is actively trying to recruit new members, so we'll address those seats as they come for appointments. So we didn't want to just single you out or not have a discussion with the members of the Planning Commission, but we're trying to straighten this out.
No, I'm okay with that.
Okay, and understand that we think you're doing a great job. We appreciate your service. And if you want to continue at that termination, we'll just appoint you for another 5 years, and that'll kind of straighten it out as it goes. So if you guys are okay with that, we'll get a resolution to the board. So,
Yeah, your pay's getting
Right.
cut.
Yeah. So this way, Jimmy his term will expire in April 29, Jeff's will expire, if we shorten you by 8 months, in April 30, and then Gary will expire in April 31.
correct.
So we're a year apart,
That
Yes.
makes sense.
okay?
Yeah.
That
And
makes
that
sense.
way, we keep the experience on the, you know, we don't have, because right now, 4 people expires within a year.
That's tough to fill.
Yeah,
And
that's-
then
Yeah.
So
you're
you
left
don't
Yeah.
wanna do
Roughly a
that.
month.
No.
Yeah, you don't wanna do that.
Don't ask me how it happened.
Peter
It was way
here.
before I was here.
What's that?
I said, thank God, we still got Peter here until at least
Right.
November. We need his experience.
Yeah, we don't have the experience, and it's like, you got 4 new members, so it's like, God.
Yeah.
We wanted to see if we can stagger it out.
Is that okay?
Sound good?
Okay. Awesome. Great. We'll get that on the agenda for the Board of Town Commissioners.
Okay.
Okay?
Do we have any other items anyone would like to discuss or bring up? You're done? Okay, I'm going to officially adjourn. We're adjourned. Hey-ha.